Hey everyone, Renee. I'm a designer with the Quilted Cow. Today we're going to be working on the Peekaboo pouch. It's a cute little zipper pouch that has the pleats in the front and in the back. Before we get started, I'd like to thank our sponsors, Husqvarna Viking Sewing Machines, Wilmington Prints, and Creative Grids. Let's get started. The Peekaboo pouch is one of our Helpful Heifer series. You can find it and a kit at thequiltedcow.com. It's one of my faves because, for one, it's super cute with its pleats and its little peekaboo fabric in there. Easy to make, holds tons. It can be used as a makeup bag, gift-giving bag. There is just multi-purpose, and it can be made in, I would say, under an hour. To start, you're going to cut out all of your pieces, which can be found with the dimensions on the postcard pattern. But you're going to start with your exterior and your accent pieces. Take your accent pieces first. You're going to fold them in half, and we want to mark the centers of these. I do that by just taking a pair of snips and just snipping it right in the middle. If you're not comfortable with doing that, you can do one piece of fabric at a time. Just fold it in half and mark it within the seam allowance with your pen. And then once you have your centers marked on your accent piece of fabric, you're going to lay these out with exterior, accent, exterior, accent, exterior, accent, and exterior. So that way you're going to have 4 of your exteriors and 3 of your accent pieces. And then you're just going to sew all of these together with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. So just put them right side together, do your stitch, and you're just going to keep going down the line until you have a panel all put together that looks like this. You're going to have one for the front, and you're going to have one for the back. Once you get those, we can start doing our pleats. The easiest way to do the pleats, after you have put your strip together, go ahead and press every one of these seams so that they're easier to pull up. Once you have them pressed, you remember the center mark that we put in there. We're going to take that fold, line it up to that center mark. So you need to either pin it or clip it. I always start with these seams first. Eventually we're going to get to the other ones, but just do your outer seams first. So I have this one. Now I'm going to take that one, we're going to fold it in, and we're going to either clip or pin. And then take your last one and clip or pin it. And you're right there on that mark, that little notch that you made. And then once you do at the top, you want to get the bottoms. So we're just going to go straight down the line again and do all your bottoms. And then give that a pin or a clip. I'm going to show you one more. So I'm just taking each seam, bringing it over to that notch that we cut out, or if you decided you wanted to mark it with pin, and then we're going to take this and just line them up. And this is what makes the pleats to be able to peekaboo. And then once you have all of your pleats together, you're going to do a basting stitch right along the top and right along the bottom to where it holds those pleats together. Once you get your pleats all done, and this is what the back looks like, you can take your top band and you're going to line it right up at the top. If you have extra on the ends, that's okay. We can trim that up later. So you're going to place your top band right side together. This is where you want to determine if you have directional fabric, what's going to be the top of your pouch and what's going to be the bottom of your pouch. I got a little bit of direction, so I'm going to go up this way and put it right there, and then you're going to sew right across there with your seam allowance that's noted in the pattern. Once you get that, you're going to do it on both sides, and you're going to have your 2 panels. Now we're going to put that in to the zipper, and to put it into the zipper, I am a big basting glue advocate. I love it. I love it more than pins. So I'm going to bring over the iron, and we are going to put our lining fabric that I have already put the lightweight interfacing on face up. Take your zipper. If you're right-handed, put the slider to the left. If you're left-handed, put the slider to the right. And then just take your basting glue and just put it right along that top edge there. And then lay your zipper down. Now, if your zipper, if you got one from the kit, it should be long enough to where you have enough of room to play with, and you don't have to do any kind of, making sure it's in the center or anything like that. And then we're going to take our top and put it right side down, and then take the iron and just take it right across the top. Now we're going to take it to the sewing machine and sew right across that line there. If you have a zipper foot, it really helps, but if you do not, that's okay. You can do it with a regular zipper foot. Just make sure that you're not too close to the edge to where you get the fabric hung up in the zipper. And then you want to take both of those, push them back to where they are wrong side together. Press the top, and then do a top stitch right across that edge there. And then we're going to repeat for the other back side of our pouch. So start with your lining. Face up, and then now your zipper slider, if you started it with on the left, it's now going to be on the right. And then put your basting glue down, and then we're going to take this back part of the zipper and line it up with the top half of your liner. And it's wanting to wiggle around on me, so I'm going to go ahead and give that a little bit of a press to get it to hold. There we go. And now when you go to do your right side down of your second pleated, make sure, I'm going to lift this up, that the pleats, see how I'm not lined up? So I'm just going to slide this over just a little bit to where I have my pleats lined up. And then that way it flows very easily when the pouch is complete. Then I'm just going to pop this back, put my glue right along the top there. And then you just want to sew right along the top there. And then we're going to do just like we did the other side. We're going to bring our lining and our top back. Give it a press, and before we top stitch, let's just give it a little test to make sure that we are open freely without it catching any fabric, which we are. So now we're just gonna top stitch this right straight across. All right, so we now have our zipper in. Wasn't that easy? I mean, it's just so simple. People get real intimidated with zippers, but they're so simple. That's all there is. And now we're going to take our two exterior main pieces, put those right side together, and then take your lining pieces right side together to where it's going to look one big old pouch. And we're going to assemble that pouch. We are almost done. That's how fast this little project goes. So it doesn't matter which side the coils go for your zipper. Just make sure both sides, both ends, are pointing the same direction. You can have it go towards the liner. You can have it go towards the main. Just make sure both ends are going. I typically have it go towards the main, but you can do either or. So now I'm going to take the pins, or you can clip, whatever you're more comfortable with, and I am going to pin this all the way around. Make sure you get that zipper in there good. Also, you want to double check. Always do my zippers first. Get those pinned. Make sure your pleats are lined up. And you want to match up your ends. And I'm just going to give it a few pins all the way around. Now, when you get to your liner side, we are going to be leaving an opening about 3 or 4 inches right here on the bottom, and that's how we're going to end up turning it. So I usually just put me a little pin to remind me, do not sew here. Then I want you to take it to your sewing machine, and we're going to start here, go all the way around, slide your zipper, pull to the center, to where when you sew over your zipper, you can still get to the zipper slider. And always make sure when you go to your machine that, you know, there's a little metal end here. And if you have a shorter zipper, and it might be within where your seam allowance is going to be, and look at your seam allowance that you're going to be having to do. Make sure you're not going to hit any of that metal. Otherwise, you should be fine going over with your needle. So I'm going to start on this end. Go ahead and give it a good back stitch so that when you go to turn, you don't pop any stitches. I mean, if you do, it's not a big deal, but you want to try not to pop any. So we've just sewn all the way around. We've trimmed our zippers, and now we're going to box our corners. That's the next step, is boxing our corners. So how you box your corners, you can slide your hand in down to the exterior main, and take your hand just like this, and the middle finger part of it. So once you make your triangle, you want to pinch that to a corner. And I typically go ahead and put me a pin there to get it to hold. And then from that tip, you're going to measure up 1.5 inches. Draw you a line. Do that to all 4 corners. So now you want to go to your sewing machine, and you want to sew directly on that line, right on it. So once you have sewn on that draw line, you're going to take your ruler and cut 1/4 inch away from that seam. And then you're going to do that for all 4 corners. Then we can turn our project. And then once you're happy, look around, make sure you don't have any pop seams. Everything's lined up the way that you want it lined up. And then you can close the opening in your liner. Get all the frays out. And I'm just going to fold that in, those little edges, and then you can either machine or hand close that straight across. But for now, we're just going to tuck it down in there so I can show you the completed bag. So there it is. Is it not super cute? It would make the perfect gift for every girl in your family. Or you can use masculine fabrics and use it for the guys too. Remember, you can get it at our website, thequiltedcow.com. Don't forget to hit the like and to subscribe to our channel so you can be caught up on other tutorials that we always post. And thank you for watching.
Okay, you wicked cool quilters, good job. You made it to the end. We would like to thank our sponsors, Husqvarna Viking Sewing Machines, Creative Grids, rulers, rotary cutters, and mats, and Wilmington Prints for the beautiful fabrics. Thanks for watching.